Hello, everybody. How is everyone doing? Welcome to our Friday Wellness show. If you're finding me for the first time, my name is Penny. I come here at least 4, if not 5 days a week to encourage one or two people. I have been doing this since 2020, and as time is going by, I think I'm learning something, and the people that watch me are learning something. So I'm clearing my glasses because I need a clear vision to do this. So I'm doing this for the first time, meaning last time we met on Zoom, and I decided for us to come and meet on StreamYard through StreamYard, and we're going to stream on Facebook and YouTube, so that way we can have more people interaction, because when you're on Zoom, unless you share the Zoom, it's hard for people to even know you're in a Zoom meeting. So this is our second week meeting, and thanks to everyone that joined the group, the wellness group. We have not done much in that wellness group yet, but at the same time, we are getting there. So every now and then, we will invite someone who will come and talk to us. And today we are going to talk about stress. And the reason why we want different people to come is because you cannot be an expert of everything. You have to have someone who can guide you through a process. You have to have someone who has taken time and has specialized in one particular area, and they can guide you through the process. So today we want to talk about stress, and stress is the killer number one. Stress is associated with all kinds of diseases that we have or we get, and if it's not caught on early, it leads to death, or it leads to some chronic illnesses, because you're worried so much you don't get time to eat. You're worried so much you don't get time to rest. You're worried so much you can't think to even be productive. If you run a business, you're worried so much you're not able to grow your business because you're constantly thinking how you're going to make ends meet. Your brain is not productive because you're always under stress. That's why they recommend for people now to try and take care of stress before it gets out of hand. So I can see our guest is on. We are going to add her. That is Susan. She's an expert, in fact. Susan, welcome to the
Yeah.
Hello there.
Hey, I'm sorry I'm late. I'm working, so
You're
I had to attend to something first, but I'm here.
you're here. So I just gave a heads up, and I was telling them we have an expert in stress, meaning that's your specialty. You know how my specialty is to talk. Everybody specializes in one or two things, and you chose
Yeah,
to
maybe.
specialize in one thing. And we are going to invite you to talk to us briefly. And thank you so much for squeezing this. I'm sure maybe it's your break to talk to us. So I will let you talk while we listen in. Welcome.
Okay. Thank you so much. And my name is Susan. Susan Walker. My other names are our boy. And I'm so glad to be talking about stress because I was afflicted for a long time with stress, and I did not know what the problem was. And I got sick for a long time because I was in an abusive relationship, and my immunity was so low, and I used to get sick a lot, but I did not associate my sickness with the stresses that I was going through. So until one time, in fact, I used to go to see the doctor so often, until one time, one of my doctors was able to make the connection between my stress levels and the relationship I was in that was toxic. So I'm a survivor of domestic violence, and I have a passion for holistic health, and I also help women who are going through abusive relationships to deal with their stress, their emotions, their digestive issues. There's so anxiety. There's so many issues that someone who is in a stressful situation is going on. There are so many issues going on with them physically, but they are not able to relate them to the stress that is arising out of the situation. So I decided to be helping women who are going through domestic violence and all that kind of thing, because I have been there and I know how it is. So when we are talking about stress, first of all, sometimes it can become very hard to quantify what is stress. But stress, very simply, it is the situation where you're not happy for any reason. If you're not happy, your body is not happy, you're not feeling happy, you are stressful. And in the current situation where we are going through a very difficult time, especially after what has happened within the past 2 years, most of us are experiencing stress. But the interesting thing with the body is that it has coping mechanisms such that even if you're going through stress, your body adapts and it's able to cope with the stress. So after some time, you will not be feeling like you're having stress, because we usually say, I'm used to it. But being used to it does not mean that we are not experiencing stress. So the body has this coping mechanism, and then at the same time, there are physiological changes that take place when the body is being stressed. So what happens when the body is experiencing stress? And some of the things, I'll just mention some of the things that can give us stress. It could be your relationship that is not good, work relationship that you're stressed. Maybe your boss is not good, your colleagues. Maybe you're having to juggle between your children and work and all that kind of thing, paying bills, finances, being in the traffic jam, somebody cuts in front of you badly, or someone almost hit you. All those things, they cause us stress. And another thing that we do not even consider like is causing our body stress is the junk food that we eat. Because when we eat junk food, our body considers that as toxins. So what happens, our body starts to try to cleanse out the toxins each time we eat food that is not really nutritious. Mm-hmm. So we are putting the body under stress and we are not even aware. So what happens is this continuous mode of the body trying to cleanse itself causes inflammation, what we call ongoing or underground inflammation. And this is one of the major causes of chronic illnesses. So what happens physiologically when we are having a stressful situation is that we go into a mode, we activate the sympathetic nervous system, or we go into what is called fight or flight mode. And in that mode, it is where, for example, let's say you're walking down along a street and you meet a wild dog that starts chasing you, then you engage into running. So what happens in that situation? You have to survive and you have to run away. So the body engages the fight or flight mode, where your heart rate increases so much. You start running so fast. You run as fast as you never thought you could run. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your eyes become widened because you have to see more. And that kind of reaction is good if it is going to happen for just a short while. But when it happens for a long time, and this is what happens when we have an ongoing inflammation and we are not aware, whenever we are going through a stressful situation, we are sending the same signals to the brain as if we have a real emergency. And what the brain does is that it engages the physiological changes that happen. So the major processes that the body has to go through, they are stopped. And some of these processes include digestion, include reproduction, body growth, and body regeneration. And that is so because you cannot run away and or defend yourself from an invader. You cannot do that and eat at the same time. So digestion is closed down. Reproduction, you cannot have pleasure and run away from an animal that is chasing you. Regeneration takes place when we are sleeping. So you cannot sleep when you are in an emergency. And body growth. So all those processes are stopped. So what happens is when we are in a stressful situation, and this could be ongoing because as I have said, you're sending triggers, but you're not aware. But the triggers are going to the brain. So we are in a continuous mode of fight or flight. And that's why sometimes you feel like you do not have an appetite. If you do not have an appetite most of the time, check your stress levels. What is going on? Because if you have stress, your body, you will have sent triggers to your brain that there is an emergency, so digestion is stopped. But what happens is that the body, because we are used to eating, we will still go on and eat. Okay? So when we eat and the digestive system has been stopped, what happens? The food is not going to be digested.
No.
So as a result, we are going to have problems with digestion. We'll have maybe food sensitivities. We'll have bloating, sometimes diarrhea, and all these kinds of things because digestion has been stopped. The other thing is if we cannot sleep properly because we are having, and I feel like I'm shaking. I didn't have a proper place to put this, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just holding it with my hand. So the other thing is that we cannot be able to sleep properly. So we have anxiety when we have stress. So, and when we cannot sleep properly, it means our body cannot regenerate. We cannot remove the toxins from the body because our liver or our body detoxifies properly. And actually, even proper digestion takes place when we are asleep. So when we cannot remove toxins from the body, we wake up the following morning feeling like groggy. We don't feel, like we are moody, because there is toxins in the body and the body is telling us something is going on wrong, and this is not like these are alarms that the body is sending to us. So those are some of the things. And then the other thing it causes, because we cannot regenerate, stress causes aging, premature aging, because the toxins are in the body. Our cells are not receiving the oxygen that it should. So our cells start to collapse and we have premature aging. So the main thing that we say is the thing that we really have to do, those are just some of the things that happen when we are going through stress. So we have to identify our stress triggers, because everybody knows what triggers you. If you're in that relationship and you know it is not good, you know it is not good, whether it is a work relationship or whatever is happening, or it's a colleague that you see and you feel like you really don't like them, all these are triggers. So what we have to do is identify our triggers and get rid of them, or know how to deal with them. Because if we do not do that, what happens is that our emotions, the quality of our emotions and feelings, according to traditional Chinese or energetic medicine, actually, our emotions and our feelings, they are the ones that turn on or off our DNA. So you see, it is so important to be aware what is happening with our stress. But most of the time, we do not even make that connection. So for example, when we are so angry or we are frustrated, most of the time, we are going to have problems with the liver. And the liver is one of the main organs of detoxification in the body. So when we have problems with the liver, it means that so many things are not going right. And our organs of detoxification, they work in conjunction with one another. So if you're not detoxifying properly, your liver is not working okay. Most likely your kidneys will not be working okay. Your pancreas will not be working okay. Your gut will not be working okay. So all those things, they are interconnected, but we do not, sometimes we do not make the direct connection between stress and what is going on in our bodies. So the other thing that might happen, if, for example, you have a lot of frustrations and bitterness and things like that, you find that you have problems with the gallbladder.
Yes.
If you have a lot of fear, you might have a problem with your kidneys. If you have a lot of hatred and things like that, you are causing a problem to your heart. So your heart is going to be pumping better when you love people and you are expansive and you embrace whatever comes to you. So so the the remedy for
that I'm learning something new. Each disease is attached to some kind of stress.
Yeah, mostly because this affects what the Chinese call them the meridians, the different meridians. And these are not the meridians, is about energetic medicine. Usually some of us are not very conversant with that, but it's what works really. You find that if you find, like, for example, somebody who has been sick for a long time, and they start to brighten the way they look at things, and they drop for, you know, people that you have not forgiven. Like forgiving is so important, and forgiveness is such a bad poison for the body, you know. But when you see, when somebody changes and you bring in all the good feelings and the good emotions, your body starts to change, your body starts to feel good, your body is happy. That is how it goes. But most of the time, we do not associate that. And the other thing is, even our mental condition, it's stress, emotions,
Yes.
feelings.
Yes.
So yeah. So, and what I can say is that in the short term, having stress is very good, because the body has it as a way of saving ourselves. It's a survival mechanism. It is when it goes on for a long time that is not good for us. But if it's just for a short time, that's how we are. Because if you do not run away and the dog is running after you, you'll get killed. So you have to save yourself. That mode of fight or flight is really important for that particular time. But after that, then it becomes detrimental, and it becomes negative, and it's affecting us negatively.
Okay.
I don't know if I have talked a lot, but I think that is the shortest form I can say about stress.
Yeah. So can you quickly talk about prevention?
Okay. The best way of preventing is being aware. Identify your stressors. Identify your stressors and know this is what stresses me. And we decide, we actually make a decision, because we all make a decision how we want to live our lives. We can decide, okay, I don't like my colleague. I can either decide to accept her, or I can decide what to do with her. That's a choice that I make. We make these choices. We are not being forced to be in that situation. So we have to identify our stressors and know how to deal with them. And then the other thing is, we have to make a purposeful intention to be happy. One doctor, Dr. Goswami, said, happiness is the balance for stress and for your immunity. And the other thing that happens when you're stressful, your immunity is so low. So you find that, the people who are really, really happy, their immunity, they don't have much problems with their immunity, because everything works okay in that happy mode.
Yes.
So, and then the other thing is, try to eat nutritive food. Let's stay away from the junk and all these animal-based foods. Let us do more plant-based diets, because actually, when you look at our teeth, we are herbivorous. We are not carnivorous. Herbivorous, our teeth are wide. They are meant to munch and crunch food. We are not meant to have teeth like the cats, you know, the carnivores.
Yes.
But it's okay to have that meat once in a while. But if we make it an everyday thing, then we are messing up our physiology, because of our physiology, we are meant to eat plants. And we are not meant to be eating meat all the time. So know what are your triggers. Make a purposeful, be purposeful about changing how you react to situations, because people can do anything they want to do to you, but you have a choice. You decide, you decide how you are going to react to somebody, and that's it's a personal choice that you make. And then learn to say no. If you're in a relationship that is not good, saying no to that abusive person, it is saying yes to you. So we have to learn to say yes to us. We have to love ourselves. If you love yourself enough, you will not allow yourself to go through stress. You will not allow other people to stress you. And you will allow yourself to be happy, because we are created happy beings, you know. I always say we are children of the universe. And look at the universe. It is so, I mean, like, the universe is so abundant. And there is also this thing that we have been brought up to think, like, there is not enough resources for us in the world. That is a false teaching that was brought to us so that we can be put in the system where we are going to be working for other people. And working for other people is okay. But there is enough resources for everybody in this world. Everybody.
When you talk about working for people, let me throw that in. When you start your own business, when you remove yourself from payroll and you start your own business, somebody is going to work for you until they also start theirs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, it is an interpersonal, it is an interconnected relationship. I always say it is like trees in a forest. You know, we can work for somebody, but let it not be put to us like there is nothing else you can do apart from that. We can do whatever we feel like we want to, because that's how we are created. We are creators. We can create whatever we want, but we have been taught like this is just for some chosen few. And I think also this limiting belief is so negative, and it has held us imprisoned for such a long time, such that you just look at life and you do not see anything good in life. Yet the world is so abundant. You know, I look at the trees and I see how they thrive. They like stand with one another. They support one another. Like when you go underground, the roots, they are intertwined. They are supporting one another under the ground. And that's how we should be.
Amen.
You know, we
Mm-hmm.
should not be competing and all this negativity and all these things. No, the world is a beautiful place, but we decide to make that intentional decision. I'm going to be happy and I'm going to live a bountiful life, because the world is full of abundance for every one of us, and we can live our dreams.
Amen, Susan. That was so we don't want to finish all your lunch break. I don't know where you are, Susan. You've not spoken. Everyone, I'm meeting Susan today for the first time. I don't know if you have a program where you're mentoring anyone, or when you're talking to someone. And you know, our audience is global, but I don't know what you have in place for people who want to ask more questions.
Okay, let me tell you what. I have a phone number. They can send me a text. Right now, I used to have a website, but I have been so busy, I let it go because I'm into something else right now. And the other thing I would like to say is I help people with stress and emotional management. They have a stress and emotional management program that is very, very effective. That is what has helped me a lot. That's why you can see me smiling.
Great.
And so it is a program. Let me just explain one just really shortly what it does. It targets our neuronal pathways, because what happens when we are not able to deal with situations in the right manner, it is we have faulty neuronal pathways in our brains. So the program or the therapy is able to target our the faulty neuronal pathways and redesigns them so that we are able to deal with circumstances as we should. That is very briefly. So I can just give you my phone number, and then somebody can. I'm not even on social media, can you believe it? But I have been in school for most of the time, so I am so engaged right now. I just felt I didn't want to start doing social media because it might be too involving. But I'll definitely
do it anytime you feel comfortable. Yes.
Yeah. So my number is 404 468 4812. Yeah, a text will be fine. I will be able to respond to somebody if they send me a text. And if they want my email, they can do susankiongo@yahoo.com. susankiongo@yahoo.com. That's my email. Yeah, I can respond to them that way.
So do you mind if I I put your number somewhere there? No, you're okay with that?
No, I don't mind. That's okay, as long as they send me a text, because I might not be able to receive phone calls, but texting, I can text back.
Okay. Thank you so much, Susan. And you go back, and
You're welcome.
Appreciate. I'm sure you're going to come back again. Thank you so much.
I hope I was able to help somebody, and I hope I said something of
thank you.
I hope I made some sense.
And by the way, you're doing this for free. Thank you for donating your time. We truly appreciate.
Yeah, I hope we can be able to help our people, because that is the main thing. The main thing is supporting one another and helping one another, because when one person gets out of problems, we all get out of problems, because we are all interconnected.
Yes. And I'm saying the whole week, I'm telling people, inspire one person, educate one person, and unite many people. Your stress level will go down.
That's true. Yeah.
Thank you, Susan.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm so happy, Penny. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that was Susan. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. And Susan, I think, summarized everything. And what I'm going to ask people before I pen down, because we are trying to keep it to 30 minutes, is to ask people to be truthful. I'm always preaching that come out clean. You're the only person who knows what you're going through. Nobody can do it for you. You're going to cause stress on yourself because you're not truthful. If you're not truthful, you are going to live in denial. And remember, hurt people hurt others. Okay? If you're not healthy, you cannot have a good relationship. If you're not healthy, you cannot be productive. So try to get yourself in a situation that you're doing the self-care. Okay? Respect yourself enough that you're going to tell yourself the truth. When you're not truthful, people will not trust you to help you along the way. You need to be truthful to yourself to accept that this is the journey that I'm going through. I need to do some self-care. When you're not truthful, you're going to get anxiety. Susan broke it down how each disease is connected to a certain part of the body. Because, anxiety can just blow you off and just take you out of place. When you lie to yourself and others, you always have to try and remember that lie. What did I tell Irene? What did I tell Naomi? You have to try and remember all the lies you're telling people or you're telling yourself, so that way you don't incriminate yourself. But when you're truthful, you don't always have to try and remember what you said. You're going to say the same thing. The truth remains to be the truth. A lie remains to be a lie. Finally, admit that you have a problem, a self-care problem. Admit that, you know what, finally, I am going to find a way to take care of myself. Admit that you need to self-care. Come into terms that, you know what, for me, Penina, is every Friday I'm going to do self-care. In fact, today I just need those flowers. I'm going to get those flowers. Be realistic with those goals you're setting, especially your health. Be realistic. Start slowly. Like now I have okra, I have beans, I have all these vegetables that I'm planning to eat. Set goals that you're able to achieve, which is like something it's not going to cost you so much money. And you're going to set goals that are short term. Don't make goals that are, like you're blowing yourself out. Slowly by slowly. Like today, I've not gone to the gym. It's going to 2 weeks now. I'm like, you know what? Let me just go back there. Okay? Practice telling the truth. It is painful. It is not easy to tell the truth. Telling the truth is the biggest challenge that most of us have. But practice telling the truth. Eventually, you will find yourself succeeding. If need be, in healthcare, we say check, call, and care. That's why I asked Susan for her number. If you're in a position where you need help, ask for that help. Let somebody walk you through the process. Sit down and do an audit. An audit, self-audit, where you're checking yourself and ask yourself, what do you need to work on so you can be this healthy person? What is the area that is giving you a hard time? Evaluate, do a self-evaluation. I'm going to end my talk by telling you 2 stories that I think are so important, even on what Susan said about relationships. In my stretch class this morning, the stretch class that the Y has on Fridays at around 8 looks like is women, or not even women, anyone who there's one man, maybe 55 plus, or maybe 60 something plus. All they do is stretches. I like the class because I'm 49, and it's a good class for me because I get to stretch. Even the teacher that is teaching so slow. So we finished the class, and the teacher welcomed me back. She's like, I didn't see you for some time. I said, yeah, I had all these things going on, but I came back. She took time to talk to me. And this lady, she told me that I like your accent. I said, yeah, I'm from Kenya. And she said, my husband traveled a lot. And I had a chance to go with him to different countries. So I went to Thailand, but I've never been to Africa. So I said, it's a good thing that you can plan we go someday. And then she said, I'm a retired school teacher. I have grandkids, so I'm just leaving now to go and get my grandkids ready for school. And then she went to say that, my husband was never home. My husband was always traveling. He had a wood company, and there's a time he would make so much money. There's a time he won't make money. But I stayed as a school teacher to make the ends meet. But she said, at one time I came to a conclusion that, what, I can find love in other things or other people besides my husband. And that's how she found peace to be able to continue teaching and to be able to not to feel lonely. In the process of the husband missing, she decided to only have one child because she was single married. Some of you women who are married know what I mean by single married. When you're single married, you have a husband, but he's never present. He's not there to drop the kids. He's not there to help with the homework, but he's there to pay bills every now and then when he shows up. He's able to have a meal with you guys, but he's missing. So you're legally married, but you don't have a present husband or wife. So she decided to only have one child. And she said, I'm glad I did because I could not raise two children by myself. And this daughter has two children, and they mean everything to her. Those are her grandkids. They tell me, you've not lived until you see grandchildren. And she told me the love I've been getting from my grandkids and the love I've been getting from people that I meet here in this class and the people I meet along the way has really changed my life. And I feel loved. That was very, very powerful. Listening to someone who was married for so many years, for 40 years, and felt alone. But at the same time, unfortunately, the husband died last year. And what really made me sad in that story, he died from a fall. They have a nice house. They say they bought a nice house. But this house, the staircase was just too steep. They always fell, but they were younger. So he fell down the stairs and broke his neck bone, and he died last year. So it was such an empty story. Then I moved to the next place. I went to do a mammogram. I met another technician that was, or the lady that did my mammogram. By the way, I put away to do my mammogram for so long until I just said, let me go do this. It's been a year, the wrong thing. And the lady that did my mammogram looked at my trousers and said, oh, these ones, they look like African because they have giraffes. I said, yes, I'm from Kenya. She said, by the way, I'm going to South Africa. I said, that's wonderful. Who's going with you? Are you going in a church? Or I wanted to know how she's going. She said, no. I'm going with my daughter who has two kids and have, my grandkids. There's three of us. We already paid and we are ready to go there for 2 weeks in December. I said, that's wonderful. Oh, and then she said to me, anyway, my husband is not coming because I've not even told him because I found him cheating on me. Oh my God. I'm like, I'm so sorry to hear that. In fact, she went on for like 10 minutes how she found out and how broken she was, and finally coming into terms that the love from the man was not going to be the love that she wanted in her life to be able to thrive. She told me, I found love in my grandkids. I found love in my daughter. I have other children. I didn't know that one day I'll get there where I'm able to feel loved besides the love I had for my husband because he was my best friend. I know many of you have gone through things. A lot of you are going through challenges where your relationship is not working. The relationship with your children is not working. But I want to tell you today, you can find love in many things or in many people. You can find love in finding a hobby that you're going to do and just be passionate about it. Like I like to do the gardening. You can find satisfaction in so many things. But that cannot start until you start doing the self-care. And that's why I come here every Friday to remind everyone that's watching me today that everything and everything boils down to self-care. If you're a happy person, you're going to pass that on. If you're a miserable person, you're going to pass that on. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so glad that you took your time. I want to thank Susan for taking her time to come. And for those of you who want more help, especially on nutrition, dieting, and how you're going to work out your meal, reach out to me. I'll connect you with someone. I'll connect you with someone who's going to walk you through, somebody who's going to do a wellness check. I will do that. And I told you, don't forget to do your self evaluation to know where you are, so you know what you need. Inbox me, DM me, text me on WhatsApp. I'm here to work with you. Thank you for watching, and this was so nice. And have a lovely, lovely weekend. In America, we have an extra day for the holiday. Spend time with your friends, and if you have good, healthy relationships, your immune system is going to always stay put. Life is not for the people who are dead. When people have died, we grieve them. It's a process. But life is for those people who are living. Me and you and somebody else. Try to live it today. Thank you so much for your 40 minutes. That was amazing. I'll let you free so you can go enjoy your weekend. Cheers, guys.